Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to Amanda Ross's 1000 subscriber celebration and giveaway hop over at her channel Crafting with Amanda. And I'm combining this with today's May I Scraplift You because I am scraplifting one of Amanda's cards. This is the set of cards she had posted. And I'm kind of going with that bottom right hand side a little bit. So I'm going to have two pieces of paper just like she has. I'm going to have a band and a flower. And so I am not going to add the bee or the sentiment. This is kind of just an overall greeting card. I am using it as a thank you card, but you could put any kind of greeting in it that you would want. You could put a sympathy, a birthday, a thank you, thinking of you, get well. It wouldn't even matter. It's very versatile. So I am starting out with this Altenew die set, and it is called Peony Dream 3D. And I started out with, I cut a practice one. You can see the yellow one up there in the corner, and I didn't do it quite right. I'm not great at these layering dies just because I don't practice with them or don't play with them very often. And so this was the first time I had used it. So I started out with yellow, but I actually wanted my card to have purple on it because the background paper that I'm going to use has purple and blue, which is one of the things that Amanda requested for this hop was potentially to scraplift her and to use blue somewhere on your layout. Well, I'm not doing a layout, I'm doing a card, but I am going to use blue and I am scraplifting her. So I started out with the purple Distress Oxide ink in milled lavender, and so I'm kind of going with a really light colored background on these. The little outline piece, I went super light over. I want that to be just a touch of lavender, but mostly just almost white. And then my next color, I believe here is Dusty Concord. And I'm kind of going a little heavy-handed with that because I want that to show up really well. And then I am going to go with some I think that is actually Villainous Potion. I don't think that's Wilted Violet there. I think it's Villainous Potion. Yeah, that's what it is. And then I just pulled out some yellow. I think this is Mustard Seed to do the very center of the flower. The two colors of the green that I am using are Bundled Sage and Shabby Shutters. And so I'm kind of going over them. I want to cover all the white a lot, but I don't need to go over them super like dark. The green, I don't mind if it's a little bit lighter. I am trying to match up some papers or match up the colors to some of the papers in the Paige Evans Bloom Street collection. And so that is what is driving my color choices here. And you're going to see those papers in just a few moments. And I do realize that this green veers more to the yellow than the other green, and that's okay because the paper has both in it, and it allows you to see that outline on the green leaves really well. And so I'm pretty happy with the way that those turn out. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue those together using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive. And I'm just putting a fine little line on there, and this glue comes out really fine if you have not used it before. It works very well. So I'm just going to go ahead and assemble that. And while I assemble it, I wanted to remind you that this is a celebratory hop for Amanda Ross over at Crafting with Amanda. And she does have some guidelines as to her giveaway. So I highly recommend you go and check out her channel first so that you can find out more about that. I believe you get extra entries into the giveaway the more comments that you leave on the videos in the hop. That is my understanding. I'm not 100% sure how that's working out, but she can give you more details on that. And I believe she has some close to my heart goodies that she is offering as her giveaway. So go and check that out. So here is the floral piece that you can, that I'm going to assemble. You can assemble just this first flower on its own so that you have a smaller flower, and then you can also stack them to create the larger flower. And in the yellow one, this is where I made my mistake. I actually put the outline piece down before I put the center piece, which is kind of how it's indicated on that strip of paper that you see kind of more at the top of the screen there, but it is not the correct order. The correct order is to put the center piece and then the outline piece, because otherwise it doesn't look like that bottom leaf is curled up. So that little piece right there makes its own flower, but you're going to see I can also stack it on top of this other flower to create the large flower. So I guess essentially you get 2 flowers out of this set. You do have to run it through your die cut machine more than one time though, because you would need a full set. You would need 2 full sets of that small flower to create both flowers. So I'm just kind of following along with the way that it is presented in that strip of paper at the top, and hoping that it all goes together okay. At the end of the day, it looks fine, and I really like the way that it comes together, and I think it's really pretty. So here is the paper that I am using from Bloom Street, and this is what was driving my color choices. You can see there's some yellow in there, there's purple, there's blue, there's a couple of shades of green, and I really like the way that it's looking. I am using a card that is, I'm not even sure what this size is. It is 4.5 by 5.25. Is that right? Yeah, I think. No, that was wrong. 4.25 by 5.5. That took me a second. Sorry, guys. It's been a very long week. So, and I don't know what that is in card sizes because I'm not typically a card maker. I don't keep that in my head. I've made my fair share of cards, but it's not something I do all the time. So I just keep trimming down these papers to kind of make them fit on the front of my card so that they can kind of go offset from each other. And so they have to be a little bit smaller than they would if I was just making a mat to go on the front. So I'm liking the way that that is looking now, and I'm going to go ahead and start assembling it. I do know that I need to ink up those edges to kind of make them pop a little bit more. So I pulled out Dusty Concord and Stormy Sky to ink those up with, just to give them a little bit of oomph off the page or off the card. And I really like the way that those look. They're not super bold. They're just enough to brighten up the edges. And then I cut a strip of I believe that's the back side of the butterfly paper, and that is going to be the little band that's going on the front of the card, much like Amanda has on her card. So that is kind of going to be the little landing place for the flower. That band is going to be kind of like the shelf, if you will. And then I just picked up my purple or my lavender blending brush and ran it through this stencil. It is a Spellbinder stencil, and I don't really know the name of it off the top of my head, but I will try to put the link down below for you so that you can look it up if you are interested in that. It's very subtle, and I really like it just because it's kind of not really bold. And she had a little bit of stencil work on hers as well. She had kind of that honeycomb looking stencil. So I went really kind of mild with the inking of the stencil because I didn't feel like it needed a lot. It just needed kind of a little. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. You just need a little. So I am going to stamp the inside of this card. This is actually a card that I made for the retreat center that we were at, or the retreat house that we were at. So I'm using an L Studio stamp, and you're not going to see this in the video, but it is the L Studio Magical Memories stamp set, which is Disney inspired. And it says, "I love this place." And so I stamped that on the inside, and then it says thanks underneath it. I just used a different stamp set with the word thanks. Any sentiment stamp set that has a word thanks in it would work. So the inside of the card just says, "I love this place, thanks." And I thought that was appropriate because the entire group got to sign the card, and we really do love the place that we retreat at. So it was a lot of fun to go ahead and use that sentiment for this card. But as you can see by the front, you could use any sentiment on this card. It's so versatile. And and it would be really easy to go ahead and change it up to be anything that you are interested in. Happy birthday, missing you, whatever. That is pretty much it. If you have questions or comments, definitely leave those down below. Don't forget to check out what Amanda's got going on her channel today. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and I will be back again tomorrow with another May I Scraplift You video, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.